Okay, this is going to be a very long recording. Just let you know, I have about 66 slides of pictures, and then I'm going to edit some videos in DaVinci, so they will be scattered throughout, but not very many. So, this is basically going to be the beginning story of me buying my semi truck off of Facebook Marketplace, because I love Marketplace way too much, and I still look for trucks. So I found a truck that I want. I wish I could find some of the OG pictures, but there's only one that I have. But so reached out. I was curious about the cabinet axle discs because I had some other stuff, in mind. But obviously, when I got the truck and I was getting to that point, changed my mind. Blah blah blah. Boring stuff. So, anyways, obviously. So I get there. I asked the guy who I bought it from, what was the horsepower? He's like, oh, I think it's like, he said 300. So I'm like, oh, cool. So I get there. Well, obviously it's not. So it's only 180 horsepower, but whatever. I bought it anyways. So so there I go. I'm pulling out Navis Drive. Oh, look. There I go. So happily. Oh, wait. So I am probably like a mile from this dude's house. And the freaking tire blew. So that's not fun. And these are tube tires. So obviously and this is the lock ring style wheels. So I knew that I was pretty much toast. So, well, that's the truck, from the front. Old 1980 International S-1854. So, I think I pretty much sat here. I called everyone around town. I probably sat around for about on the side of the dirt road for about 6 hours, and then finally I had the tech guy came out, and he basically put on the new rims and tires that I bought. So right after buying the truck for relatively cheap, I spent more money in rims and tires just so I could get it back. Get it back home. So I do have the photo of the OG interior. So it was pretty rough. And so when I got there, he had the windows down. I didn't think anything of it, whatever. Well, when I got it home, obviously had the windows up. Well, the very next day, I come out and I'm like, oh my gosh, it smells like dead rats. Like, this sucks. So I stripped the entire side, strip everything, back as much as I can. I went through the cleaner and did as much as I can. I still think there are still some left in this area right here that I can't get to, but I've tried my best because it's only on my side. So I think it's underneath in this pocket right here. Well, I finally found out where the main source was, and it's, of course, in the AC box. Well, go figure. Well, after I saw that, I'm like, oh, heck no. And there was so much juice, like right here, for whatever reason. So I ripped Now the motor does not have an AC compressor at all, so I just ripped all this out. I left the box still there, but I ripped this out because I'm like, well, the heater core is still there. I left the AC condenser, not compressor, whatever, the AC radiator. I can't remember what it's called. Anyways, I ripped this out. So, and vacuumed all this, and then I went back with bleach and Dawn and everything else to try to make it somewhat smell better. It still smells to this day, but it's very faint. So obviously there's some parts that I've ripped out, and then so that's me the starting process of painting the floor, and then you have the doghouse, the upper trim. This is the actual doghouse that was on the frame, not frame, the firewall. And then that's for the AC box. And then, so I was putting so that red was the underside. I painted the top side black. Replaced the parking brake valve. Put in a new hour meter. I got it with 6,000 hours, but it was disconnected, so who knows how long it was actually, how many hours were on it. And then I put some new air gauges on, so because I wanted to get rid of the ones in the dash. New air lines, new sound deadening mat. Put all the interior back in. Got some switches here. This is going to be for something over here, and then this one is basically for the air dryer. So yeah, underneath the oil pressure, there was like this thing, and there was just oil underneath it, and there's a huge bunch of sludge here. So I took all these out, washed it with hot water. The backside was super filthy. Washed that in hot water with Dawn soap. Got it all cleaned up. So, and then put new LEDs in all the ports. So that's the. Oh yeah. So the glass. Well, not glass. This is actually plastic. This was just super filthy in mud. Well, it basically looked like mud. You couldn't see anything. So on the ride home, I was going home at like 3 in the morning, and I could not see the dash, like, at all. Like, it was just black. The lights were on, but it was just so dirty I could not see through. So that was a very fun drive home. So I put, this is basically, vinyl that you'd put in the house. I would, hindsight 2020, I would not do this again. I would do something completely different. But I was kind of like, but I found this was on clearance for like $40. So I'm like, well, I need something. I'm just going to run it. I don't really care. So, and then all this is new line as well. Airlines, that is. Bought a $8 8-ball, drilled the hole, tapped it, and then just, eBay, little cover here, new 2-speed shifter there. I bought new clearance housings, because obviously those ones were absolute trash. And then I also bought new left and right turn signal lights as well. So make it nice and neat. So this entire truck so far has basically been sponsored by eBay and Amazon, because that's, oh, and well, Facebook Marketplace. So basically, I bought parts for this truck off of those three. Well, and Vanderhags. So, but yeah. So I wanted to get a legit air rod seat, and to replace the one. Well, the one I wanted was like $1,000, and I'm already spending a crap ton of money, and I'm like, well, crap, I'm just kind of running out of funds quickly. Well, I need something just to pass by. So I got on eBay, $300 for a repair. I had to make my own. I had some 1/8 metal plate, made my own base plate basically, then attached it to it, and off I went. So, but eventually I wanted to replace both these seats with air rods. That's the goal. And then, oh yeah, let me go back. So this right here, whoops, this right here is like the backsplash that you could probably buy. Here we have a Sutherland's, so I'm sure it's like a Home Depot or a Lowe's. It's this plastic. It's very hard plastic, but it's moldable. And the original was like this very thick, not cardboard and not particle board. I can't think of it right now on what it would be, but I just use plastics. I figured it'd be easy cleaning. So, and then I did the same thing for the headliner. So it did have the original headliner, so I just took that out, cut this out, and went on my way. I did put in a stereo or a speaker, a Bluetooth speaker, and it worked pretty good. And then eventually the truck broke the mounts. Well, the wood here, it was nailed in, screwed in, and it broke that. So I'm like, well, oh well. So I just haven't screwed with it since. But it is no longer in the truck. Bought a new crap. I just went blank. Manual throttle cable. There we go. So I put this in the center because obviously I don't know what my voltage is because the gauge is so old, and I don't trust it. So I put this in so that way I can actually have a socket and USB ports. So that's gonna be nice. Gotta have a CB radio. Gotta put that in. It is hooked up, but obviously it's not in this picture. I didn't want to screw with the old windshield washer tank and pump and all that stuff. So I actually just rigged a one from Amazon that I bought for $20. So I had to redo some stuff, but I got it working. I'm within DOT on that, and that's all that matters. I did have this old piece of junk coolant filter, so I bought the housing off of eBay. I got these from a local truck store, and then obviously you gotta have a cat filter. Also, I found out while doing all these grade 8s that you see, yeah, they were gone. Like, they were not there, so my radiator was just shaking. So that's awesome. So I fixed that. So these are all the parts that I've bought incongruent with a bunch of other stuff that is not pictured. So you got the rear engine mount. You got these four. This is the upper front cab. This is the lower front cab mounts. This is the rear cab mounts. This is the front engine mount. This is the injection pump primer, hand pump, and then some hood latches, grease for all the stuff. And then this right here is a cab undermount support or cab cross member that had to replace my current one because it was cracked around the radiuses, which you'll see. So yeah, so I put that on. Oh, and then this is a gear drive ratio, if I remember correctly. I bought it off of eBay. I also bought the hand pump off of eBay. My speedometer didn't work, so my current one was just not working. It was something to do with the gears on the inside, and of course this thing's so old. And I tried Googling. I probably did find some places that probably could rebuild it, but I was like, I would just find something off of eBay and just run it for now. I think eventually I will eventually just have to switch over to a GPS based. So yeah, that's the old front engine mounts, the old rear compared to the new. And then on my air tank I put on a air hose fitting, which I use to, it's dual purpose. I can easily air up the tank and not have to start the truck to do some other stuff, or as the truck's running, I can use it as a mobile air compressor. Okay, so yeah, this is the cross member. Got it all nice and clean, painted it. The photo that I have a photo of this that was underneath the cab itself, but the photo got corrupted, so that's cool. But yeah, as you can see, all this crack right here is just old, so it was definitely time. In the meantime, this was air brake valve was leaking, so I got to replace that. So all my my welder and my toolboxes were in the garage at this time, but I had this flatbed on the Cummins, but my idea for more stuff, I just was running out of room. Well, running out of weight, to be honest. So, because it was a 2000, so the gross weight was, I think, 14.5, I think, and I weighed the truck, and I was sitting at 13,000 pounds, just as an payload, just that's it. And I'm like, I need something a little bit bigger. So that's a whole reason why I even got a semi to begin with, is so I can carry more stuff. So got on Facebook. I found actually, is this out of order? No, it's not. Okay. So got on Facebook, and I was like, okay, I want to get rid of the spoke wheels. So got on Facebook. I found this complete axle assembly. This is a bud wheel setup for $200 on Facebook, and I actually became friends with the guy who I bought it from as well. So I'm like, oh heck yeah, because I don't have any pictures of it, but my old spring mounts, both the front and rears on both sides, they were just cracked at the top, so they were worn out anyways. And these are $200 a piece, like brand new. So, and then these springs actually looked in better condition, so took it to a local shop, started the tear down process. Well, turns out this spindle right here was messed up, so I basically had to scrap this axle assembly, which I was kind of bummed about, but so I couldn't swap over. So, but we got the stuff all cleaned up. Of course, it is prepped here to get put back in, but then, like I said, we found out that, the spindle is messed up, and I'm not going to pay $3,000 for a new axle assembly. So I'm like, no thanks. And also, so the tag in the cab says I have a 200-inch wheelbase. Well, for some whatever reason, the wheelbase, after I got it home and everything, I measured it. It was 183 inches, which makes no gosh dang sense, because I don't know why anyone would move it up. Whatever. So I had to buy some C-channel. We cut off the lower portion so we could continue the double frame, because like the actual double frame itself like stopped like halfway. So, and then when we moved it back, there was already bolt holes there. So I don't know. Of course, like I said, this is 1980, so who the heck knows on what the people did, before I got it. Because the guy who I bought it from, he was a farmer. He just had a sprayer on it, but he didn't give off any inclination that he did any kind of like modification stuff. So I think it's whoever he bought it from. So I got my new used springs, spring mounts, my old axle back on, double frame, got a little patch right there to make sure it's all good and dandy. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 cross members right here, so this is a very stiff rear end. It's pretty solid. Well, at the same time, I'm going to go up to. I've been browsing Vanderhags, and they had a 16-foot flatbed for sale for $2,000. I'm like, oh heck yeah, I'm heading up there. So I take my 16-foot trailer, and then there's all these truck parts. But then there's the 16-foot flatbed on top of my trailer. Well, the thing is, this trailer, it's not rated for what I just did at all. Like it I'm surprised I even made it home, to be honest, because it was pretty sketchy. Because when I was heading home, and I was on the south side of KC, well, the freaking tire just goes off. Like, it just, boop. I saw it just disappear in the rearview mirror. So I'm like, oh, crap. So I go up to the very next exit. But the thing is, it's raining. And it's misting. And I can't see because of this huge headache rack behind me. So, like, I had no idea if I was supposed to sideswipe somebody. And I am so surprised that I even... this was not on the ground at all. Like, I was able to, this was all still free floating. And I think the only thing that saved me is because I put on, I think, 5,000 pound leaf springs on this trailer. Just because, just do some maintenance on it. Because this trailer is probably old as me. So, so then I had someone come pick me up, take me to a tire store, got a trailer tire, got home. Well, got back to the site that I was at. A company up there will let me kind of just hang out, thankfully. So yeah. I mean, it was a simple. I don't know what happened, because the threads were good. So all I had to do was just put on jack out the rear of the trailer, put the new rim and tire on, and then just put some new bolts on. Then I'm good. So it was very weird. I've never had that happen to me at all in my entire life. So got it home, out there's chilling, and then I took it to the shop, and then they put it on for me. And what sucks is that my frame and then to the back of the cab, the frame to the back of the flatbed, there was a 2-foot gap. So then, they were talking like, extending the frame again. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that. I don't want to do that. It's too much work. So I figured I'd do something better. So I told him, nah, I'll be alright. Well, I'll take care of it later. It's like, alright. So anyways, get my truck home. I relocate the air dryer because I didn't like where they put it. So I put it behind the air tank. That's a little nook. And then I also got a front bumper that was off of another truck. I got it from the same guy that I got the rear axle stuff from. So I worked on that, and this is also, so now I got my welder, and I have another toolbox on the back of it, so I'm going through. So this metal plate right here is probably about like 3/8 thick. Nah, maybe, I don't remember. I think it is. So I welded these right here, which came off the flatbed because I took off the straps that were underneath it. So welded that, welded some D-rings, and then I have a picture of it, but it got corrupted, so I used the D-rings to hold up the bumper, obviously, with the engine hoist. And then I made L-shaped brackets out of some old frame rails that I had, during all this. So obviously I'm using 7018 for everything, so gotta make sure that sucker holds. But I think I had to cut that off of there, trim this down some more. So, and then, of course, now my truck sticks out like another 2 foot. So, I just put these on. Eventually, later on, I drilled holes in the edge, on the other side, to tuck these wires in. Eventually, I'll get it wired up. It's not now, but I eventually will. Alright, so you got paint the bumper. Then, of course, you got to put on some front mud flaps, because you got to be different. You got to now replace the rear behind the tire mud flaps. I love these Napa ones, super thick, love them. So then I ordered some toolboxes off of eBay, $150 each. So I'm like, heck yeah, dude, freaking awesome. So works perfect for what I need. All right, so now to avoid the whole extending the double frame. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I'm tired of screwing with the frame side. I don't want to put another puck there. It's just no. So got it home, did everything else. Well, I basically cut the 2 foot off right here, and then I went in, and then I was able to get this off of the base. Well, not a base plate, the back plate, and off of the top of the bed. Then I welded the crap out of this. Well, not this, but this right here. So, and then, so I had to, so there was a huge gap right here for some reason. I couldn't close. So then I had to go back in and drill 3 3/4 inch holes and bolt it together. So that way when I threw that bead, it's, whatever. So, and then I bought I think this is a 4-inch hole. So I bought a 4-inch carbide hole saw. So I can make another hole for a light. Because I don't like the 2 light setup. I don't like that. I like the 3-hole. Just like as you can see on my Ford. So got that painted white with just tractor paint, just to roll on. And eventually I'm going to close this in, but just haven't yet. And then I got the lights put in. This would be a bracket for my oxygen bottle, for my acetylene torch. Eventually, so this was at one point in time. Oh yeah, so this is an old photo. So this is the old cross member, and it was cracked right here. So, oh yeah, and then this right here, because obviously I extended the wheelbase. So this is my nice $2,000 drive shaft. It was a 3-piece, and now it's a 2-piece. So yeah, just a rebar just welded to the underneath of the flatbed, and then I got this right here. Well, I even got the exhaust pipe from Amazon. I got the whole exhaust hanger from Amazon, and then I even got the exhaust tip that I welded on from Amazon. So yeah, because I don't really care for stack. It's just simple. It's simple. All right, so all that's been done. Now I'm taking to the shop. I'm having some frame repair right here. So having some framework done. I have some kingpins being replaced, and then a pintle hitch plate put on for me. So get the truck back. I decide that I want to buy a air brake trailer. So now I'm putting in a new air valve system. So I had to, so those 2 air gauges that were right here, well, this right here is from an old flatbed. So I'm just like, hey, I would just use this. Cut it out, screw it on, done. Ran some lines. Move the air gauges here as a temporary basis, because I would like to redo the entire dash with just brand new gauges, all custom. And then I added this right here, which is coming straight from the battery, which this is a 12-volt for the pins for the wiring that I did. So you got the 7-blade RV, and then you got the 7-pin for the semi stuff, and then the service and emergency brake valves. I got backup camera. So, and then I welded on some D-rings. I have it close here on purpose because eventually I want to get some bigger D-rings that I want to weld right here. So, and then this is my wiring. This cable right here. So this top one is coming from the cab. And then this one is going to the 7-pin. And then this one is going to the 7. Whoop. Yes. Yeah, 7-blade. At least I think it is. Shoot, I don't know now. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So this is how I did it. Some of the colors don't match, but that's okay. I know where it's going. So I want to get rid of the 5-speed because I know it's probably on its way out because it's a 5-speed, 2-speed rear end. So gone to Vanderhagens once again. Found me a transmission that I want to throw it in there. It's got overdrive. It's a 9-speed, something simple. Heck yeah. So went and got it. So my Ford did not like it on the way home. I was on headwind the entire time, and it absolutely hated it. So get it home. I work on it for a little bit. So for some reason, whoever the idiot was there, when they put on this top cover, well, they got one of the forks wedged right here. So it's like I was stuck permanently in like first gear. So I had to pick up the top plate by itself, like unattached from the transmission, and it would no, yeah. So I had this eye hooks right where the shifter gets bolted to, and I have it being pulled up by my engine hoist, and it wouldn't come up on its own. So I had to like sit there and just hammer on it, and it finally popped off. So got that. I got underneath. I found the magnets on the inside. I got all the sludge out. I put in like 2 gallons of new/used oil, transmission oil, 50 weight. Put it in there, and I hand spun this for a bit, drained it, got more of that crap out. So I ordered the shifter springs, which go right here. Well, I ordered 3 on Amazon. So they sent me a bag of 100. So that's cool. And then also this pin right here was broken. So I ordered a new one, also from Amazon. And then I ordered this new high tower housing, also from Amazon. Not Amazon. Sorry, eBay. This is from eBay. And this was from eBay. So I went through it. Basically, I probably should replace those hoses, but they're fine. Should be alright. Alright, so now, and I'm dealing with my 50-gallon gas tank, and I know there's something wrong with the truck because I get like 2 miles to the gallon, and I'm like, something doesn't make right. Something doesn't make any sense. So I burn through diesel pretty quick. So like, all right, so I met this guy off of Facebook Marketplace. He's parting out his truck. So he had 2 130-gallon tanks. Well, I just stole one of them, just the driver's side. So that's what. And this truck's been sitting for like, I'm assuming, 15 years. And it had about 25 gallons of diesel in it. So that was fun because I had to go buy a barrel off of Facebook Marketplace for $20 to put all that diesel in. So got it home. I emptied out the diesel, power washed the best I could, with some degreaser as well, and I also power washed the inside of here to get all of that varnish out, which I'm glad I did. So I went and took it. Because this is a 26 diameter, 26 by 58 tank, and I went and had it polished. So that cost me. I probably could have just bought a brand new tank for the whole thing combined, but whatever. So got that done. So then I worked on the fuel tank mounts, which freaking sucks. I keep telling myself that, hey, I'm gonna buy me a mag drill. Every time I keep drilling into this frame, it's just a pain in the ass because I go through drills like crazy, and so this is the last time that I drilled 12 more holes into the frame. So, but yeah, then of course I couldn't put it on the passenger side because the top of this was too high, so I had to come back on the driver's side and tuck it underneath the flatbed. No big deal. But I scratched the crap out of it, doing all this because I had this done. I did this after I got the fuel tank polished, so I had to mess with the whole measurements and everything. So I did scratch the crap out of my polished tank, which really sucks. So, but it looks good still from a distance. And then I added a third fuel filter and replaced the fuel line as well, which I want to go back and put some, not heat wrap, but insulation on these hoses. It worked well for my Cummins when I did it to that. So, and then I need to put on a 75 psi fuel pump as well, because I can tell that the injection pump is struggling to pull fuel through 3 filters. So, but yeah, so this is how my truck sits for right now. Anything I do in the future will actually be on video, so it won't be just me just babbling. Alright, well, thanks for listening and watching. Bye.